It takes the awareness that is myself into looking, like without a separate me, but just the awareness that is myself to really penetrate to the core of what is the root of this. Yeah?
Yeah.
And that happens for me. I mean, it's like you've activated speaking here now, and this speaking is for everybody. You get what I mean? So it's like that activation of human suffering. And I tell you, it can happen sometimes, like it's really, really not personal, you know. It can happen like, especially like in the time of the menstruation, I can get like the experience of all the women in the world who had this suffering. Like I can feel that through my body-mind. And I don't even have any story going on or any problem about anything, but I can feel this heaviness, you know, like it's there, you know, like don't come near me, whatever you do, don't even look, you know. It's like, but it's like there's not a reason. I look and there's not a reason and there's not a why and there's not, it's just there. And it comes and it's like it's the opportunity for me to really just fall into it. You know, I don't mean with identification, but I mean, you know, you who know me, I talk a lot about dropping, right? Lay back on that bed and just falling into the sensations, into the body experience, like experiencing those waves of human suffering. And when I start to meet it in my own body, I start to experience like the collective field of that. You know, like that's when I come to know, wow, this is all the woman of the world. This is not mine. This is the woman's thing. I'm using that as an example, but it can be also the male thing. You know, the male's got all the weight on his shoulders to be the provider. This is a collective conditioning, right? Which is anyway carried in the DNA without you creating it by yourself. It's carried in the DNA, the male conditioning, or what you're supposed to deliver, or what you're supposed to protect, or what it's in the collective psyche and in the DNA. It's there. That same heaviness. It's like when I fall into that experience through my own body, I start to really feel into the whole field of the collective conditioning of that, and really meeting it like in a way of where, wow, like the wide openness to just let this come home in the truth of what I am, which is awareness that is able to see it and see through it and not take it personal, and just be there to like meet it in a way that it comes home. And it somehow feels like a liberation when it's being met like that. And I say, you know, I say that this is the way that we, as awake human beings, are liberating humanity. You know, and it's not that we are liberating humanity, you know, but because we're in the transition of having one foot in awakeness and one foot in the collective conditioning, it's that awakeness that is the liberation that holds the space for it to finally be met in truth. Because it's never been met in truth. You know, our parents couldn't do that. Yeah? Simply didn't have the awareness, and it wasn't the time. So it's here for us. You know, we cannot just, I don't believe in anybody getting awakened, so-called enlightened, without meeting all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because even when you get awakened, enlightened as my nature is pure awareness and I'm free of all that comes and goes, that is still only a partial awakening, until everything in the human condition is really met and seen through for what it is and the root of it. And in seeing the root of it, where we see where we feed our psyche and our conditions have fed these old behavior patterns and all this stuff, it's in our very next step where we don't do the same thing. We stop feeding that structure of belief system that's been fed into our system. So in the next step we take in the walking in the world, we're faced with it every moment, it's always coming in front of us. How do we meet the world when something comes at us with a projection and whatever? How do we meet that? Are we going to do the same old thing that has been done forever? Are we going to take a new position? And it's in that new position where actually something starts changing in the wiring, Until it's met like this, it's the same old thing. It's like a computer. You can't change the program without changing the program, But like I was saying before, it's out of our hands and it's in our hands at the same time, because it's what's out of our hands is it's bringing this to us, and then in the very moment of what we're true to is in our hands. Yeah. So this suffering, we all got our share, even if it's not in our personal life right now. It's somewhere in our world, with our friends, with our family, with our whatever. I myself have a lot of suffering in the family. I have a lot of that. I have a brother who's suffered for so many years, a heroin addict, and all the story around that, and the mother and the this and the that. All that is there, and none of them can do anything about it because there is no awareness. So they only can be completely identified with, my mother is completely identified with closing the door on him, and because she cannot do any different, and because of awareness here, instead of just wallowing the heartbreak of never seeing my own brother again, it's just like to let him come here. I never meet him anyway since many years, but to let him come here, because everything that is in existence, you don't need to be in the physical presence of somebody to communicate with them. You know that by now, right? So you're knowing it more and more every day. You get you want to tell somebody something and they call you. There's a communication happening, right? And this you think of them, they send you an email. It's all, the communication is already happening. So what can I do about the deep, deep suffering of my little brother? It's just to bring him here in my own conscience and let the light welcome all that suffering through. It's like we can never separate ourselves. It's all here. It's all here. Whoever's not free in your world is here in you, It's just really like this more and more capacity to hold the space. But it's through this kind of opportunity that gives us the opportunity to look really deeply into, what is this? I want to know. I want to know, like you say, your mind says, what is this? Yeah? And then your answer comes through really looking deeply into the heart of it, like really in your own awareness you can go and come to know, what